All right. Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to welcome our newest coach, Catherine English. Catherine is a ACE certified personal trainer. She's a certified fitness nutrition specialist, and she's an ACE certified health coach. And she's been a coach for over 5 years. She's worked in gyms, big box gyms such as Equinox, as well as smaller gyms and fitness studios. She's worked with a huge range of clients, and I really hired her because I loved how compassionate she was, how empathetic she was, and just how motivating and fun she was. I'm super excited for her to be on our team. I'll let you introduce yourself, Catherine.
Hi, everybody. My name is Catherine. I'm super excited to be part of the team and be able to help everybody as best as I can, share my journey with you all, and just be able to be a resource for everybody. So I'm really excited to be here.
You're great. Amazing. So, Catherine, we're going to do some Q&A. I hope you're excited. I would love if you can share your story with our clients and our members. So how did you get into fitness? What inspired you to become a coach?
Yeah, so I started growing up playing a lot of sports, soccer, basketball, gymnastics, swimming, just about everything. And then once high school rolled around, started doing track and cross country. And so got very into endurance running, which I don't so much do anymore, but I have still a place in my heart for it. And so that got me very interested in just fitness in general. And we always had to go to the weight room to do, our resistance training workouts. And so that sparked my love for fitness. I had no idea what I wanted to study in college, and fitness was the only thing that really kind of fired me up and gave me, some sort of feelings of like a passion that I wanted to work towards. So I found exercise science, luckily.
Okay.
And yeah, so that kind of led me into a path of being able to be in the health and fitness field. So studied exercise science, became certified as a personal trainer my senior year. So as soon as I graduated, started training, doing personal training at Equinox. And that was kind of my first, little bit of experience with actual real life, real world training. And I had a whole bunch of different clients there that I was able to apply my knowledge. I was able to get thrown in the fire, have to figure out things on the spot with people that I'd never worked before. And that just continued to kind of spark my love.
What kinds of clients did you work with over there?
Yeah, so my first client that I ever had, she was 75, I believe, and she didn't speak much English. So she was from Germany. She spoke English fine, but it wasn't super fluent. And so the language barrier alone was tough. And with her being, a little bit older, she was in actually pretty decent shape, to be honest. But I had never trained an actual client before. So having to train someone of that age who had, certain limitations and whatnot, I was a weird little 21-year-old who was just like thrown into the fire of like, all right.
Yeah.
And she would become one of my favorite people. So
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
continue sharing your story. Sorry for interrupting.
No, please ask. So that was a really good way to kind of be, introduced to the world of fitness, that you never know who you're going to work with, but as long as you can connect with someone and help them the best that you can, then, chances are you're going to leave a pretty good impact on them. And so kind of went on from there to have clients, men, women, people with injuries, people coming back from injuries, pregnant women, people with disabilities, basically all of the above. And I eventually had gone on to smaller studios, kind of more family owned, smaller ones that focus more on individual clients with specific needs. So there's where I trained women, I was going to say people who were pregnant, women who were pregnant, trained a girl who actually, she was blind. She was one of my favorite people. I had never trained anyone who was blind before, and I was a little bit nervous, like, how am I going to be able to do this? Luckily, she was super, super cool, and she had worked with trainers before. So she, she almost taught me the ropes kind of. And so it was really cool to be able to work with people that I'd never worked with before to kind of, expand my horizons in the fitness world. So trained at a couple different studios there, and then entered into the online training world, where I was able to get a little bit more into the mindset of health and fitness. So the behavioral aspect of eating, of working out, of why we do certain things, why we haven't been successful with certain goals, and what we need to do to get to that point. So really interested me to become certified as a health coach, because I thought, the fitness aspect and the nutrition aspect obviously are incredibly important, but it's really of what goes on in our mind, of why we do the things we do, that is going to, hinder our ability to get there, or, have us excel and be able to get to whatever the goal is and beyond. So that's kind of what interested me in BBR because it is one of the focal points of the mindset. The behavioral aspect of it is so huge. And I think that translates not only into your health and your fitness, but also just your life as a human being, being able to just be a better person for yourself. You show up for yourself and you can show up for your family, your friends, and all the above. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I feel like that's a huge gap in the fitness industry. There's a lot of focus on like tactics and training and like diets and workouts, but there's not much focus on like the behaviors to actually your mindset to actually get you to go do those workouts, right? And I think that I started the BBR to really combine that technical stuff, the right programs, the right workouts for the unique individual with the mindset and behavior change needed, the good relationship with food, the good relationship with their bodies needed to actually execute. So,
Yep,
I'm really
exactly.
excited to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you started off, you were very active as a kid, you played a lot of sports. What were some of the things you struggled with in your own fitness journey?
Yeah, so when I was running cross country and track, it was a lot of people who are very, very slender, very slim. Long distance runners tend to be, very slim. And I was always at a healthy body weight. I never considered myself to be overweight, but I was intimidated by people who were that much smaller than me, because typically they were faster than me. So I felt that I had to be skinnier, I had to weigh less, I had to, look like them in order to be better. So, it caused me to restrict calories so much to the point where, I wasn't fueling my body as well. And of course, what happens then, you can't perform as well. So I thought I was doing myself a favor trying to get to that point of being smaller, but I actually just, deprived myself of the fuel I needed to be a better athlete. So I definitely compared myself a lot to the other runners, and that, didn't necessarily help me in the long run, but it taught me a lesson in the long run. We'll say that.
Yeah, I used to do cross country running too, and it's
Nice.
brutal. Like the body image issues in that sport are hard because the girls are really, really thin in that sport, and it's hard when you have a more curvy figure. So how did you
Mm-hmm.
overcome that? How did you stop comparing yourself to other women and feel more comfortable in your skin?
Yeah, so I definitely, like I said, I underate for, a good bit, trying to get as small as I could, whatever that was at the time. And that restriction definitely caused a mindset of, obsessing about food. And so, you can only do that for so long before your body typically just snaps and you're like, all right, I need to go back to eating normally. And, I ate so little, it wasn't so little to the point where I was actually like starving myself, but it was definitely a lot less than I probably needed. And one day I was like, you know what, I just want to have a bowl of cereal. And so had the cereal. I love cereal. And I literally ate the entire box of cereal, and I felt so sick afterwards because I had eaten, what I considered to be good, which was, restricting myself for so long to try to lose the weight. That, I ate that whole box and I felt so gross. Like I felt just so bloated and disgusted. And, from then on for, a little bit, I just had like that all or nothing mentality of, well, I already did this, so I might as well keep eating, like crap, and keep, not necessarily focusing on my goals when it comes to eating better or working out, or training for running. And so, I did that for a little bit, and I reached a point where I just felt so sick and like didn't feel comfortable in my skin, and started to just educate myself a little bit more. I was in high school. They don't really teach you a lot about health and fitness in high school. PE doesn't really cover all the in-depth, aspects of.
PE needs a revamp.
PE needs a major revamp. So, it was like,
stressful part for me. It was the most stressful part of elementary school. Like both like changing in front of other people in the locker room, but also
yeah,
actually like doing the PE and being like so unable to like run a mile or like do anything and being picked last and all of that. It's PE can be very traumatizing for kids.
yes, I was just about to say it can be a very traumatizing time for kids, especially kids who are not into athletics or any kind of sports, because, they do feel the pressure like, oh, I have to play this sport today. Like that's terrifying. Like if someone told me, all right, you have to go get up in front of kids and like play the piano, and I've never played the piano before, I'd be like, oh my God, no. Like I can't believe I would ever have to do that. So I can definitely, empathize with people who weren't a big fan of PE.
What's interesting
Yeah.
too is that I find that sometimes with clients who really don't like working out or are very resistant to it or are very unmotivated all the time, we ask them like, tell me about like how you viewed exercise when you were a kid. And many of them had like a very negative association as kids, or they had a negative experience with PE, and that sort of shaped how they see exercise today.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that a lot too with people. And even if it wasn't PE, it was, maybe they played a sport where they were embarrassed that they weren't good enough, or they were shamed into exercising because all of their friends or their family did it and they didn't particularly like it. And so the things that happened to you as a kid like that, it's going to last with you for a while, and you might not even think about it as an adult, but those kind of things can leave an impression on you to be like, oh, I don't want to exercise. That's going to make me sad, or that's going to make me, because you're thinking about stuff from the past, and that can definitely, I think, weigh a lot on adults with their own fitness.
Yeah, it really can. But let's go back to that all or nothing mindset you were talking about earlier. So that's something that a lot of our clients generally struggle with. It's something that's pretty commonly perpetuated in the like sort of diet culture industry. Either you're like all the way, you're on the wagon, or you're off the wagon, or it's like there's no in between. So tell me, how did you overcome that mindset? What was the process like for you?
Yeah, I would say it was a long process, and still something that I would say I still have. I wouldn't say I'm definitely not in that same spot, but I'll still have those same thoughts sometimes. And I'm glad that I have educated myself, and I think that's one of the biggest things, is learning and becoming aware of certain patterns, because then you're able to take the power away from whatever it is for you, whether it's overeating, over exercising, or under eating, under exercising, whatever it is. Once you learn about your body, what your body needs, and then you kind of compare what you were doing compared to what your body really needs, you start to fill the gaps in a little bit, and you understand like, okay, maybe that isn't the best thing for me, and here's why. So for me, it was just really educating myself and trying new things of like, all right, I'm going to eat X amount of calories today, because that is what is my recommended calorie intake, and I'm going to see how I feel. Or, I'm not going to work out for an hour today. I'm going to do 20 minutes and we'll see how I feel. And I started to just kind of experiment and realize that I actually felt better when I was doing things in terms of exercise, doing maybe even a little bit less exercise and then eating a little bit more. And I kind of felt a little bit more comfortable in my skin to realize, okay, I can probably get to a good point where I feel really good about how I feel and how I look, and not feel like I'm depriving myself. It's like, I can't be, this can't just be how it is. Yeah. So it was definitely a long process of just honestly having compassion for your body. I think people shame their bodies a lot without, with realizing it and without. But I don't think we give our bodies enough credit. The fact that we're all still just alive, like here today, like our bodies have been through a lot. So having compassion and patience for your body when you're trying to change it, I think is a huge thing that I've learned over the years, that, you're not going to get to wherever you want to be in a week or a month. It could even take a year or more. So it's definitely just one of those things that you really have to realize, like, this is not going to be like a set point or an end point. This is a continuation of a journey. So once you reach what your goal is, chances are you probably have come up with another goal by then. And so you're working towards another thing. So, you never really reach an end point. You just have a bunch of little goals that you hit along the way, just during your health journey.
Yeah. Especially with our bodies, because our bodies are constantly changing, right? Especially as women, we go through multiple different stages in life. Our bodies are always changing. And that's okay. They don't have to be fixed entities for our entire life. We also don't have to hate that either and constantly shame ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. You really overcame that all or nothing thinking with really just trying moderation and like practicing it and just building that skill set.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think moderation is one of those things people hear all the time, but it's like, oh, easier said than done. Duh, I'll do moderation. But it takes trial and error. Moderation is different for everybody, and you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, totally. And like you said earlier, I don't think those thoughts ever fully go away. I mean, I still have thoughts of like, oh, like you ate some like something unhealthy for lunch, might as well make the whole day like, why don't you just eat pizza for dinner, like cookies and ice cream. But I think once you're more aware of it and you've built up that other voice that's telling you like, that's silly, that doesn't make any sense, you're able to shift more quickly rather than letting it take over you.
Right, exactly. I agree 100%.
But psychologically, it's something that's very common with a lot of humans to think in terms of black and white, especially with food,
Yes.
Cool. So anything else that you struggled with in your fitness journey that you overcame that you would want to share with clients?
I would say it just, so in tandem with the eating, the exercising was definitely a part of something that I felt that I really wasn't getting a quote good workout unless it was, all of my effort for an hour or more. I don't remember exactly how long, but it was definitely like, oh, at least an hour in the gym, or else, it's nothing. And thinking about that now, I'm like, I have done workouts that are like 12 minutes long that are harder than like things that I've done for 2 hours at the gym. It's all about playing with intensity and variables. And so I definitely overexerted myself a lot just because I thought, oh, that's how I'm going to get faster. That's how I'm going to, get a leaner body. And, of course, the irony in all of these things we realize is you're actually damaging your body more than you are helping it in the long run.
Yeah, it's causing all this stress to your body, then your cortisol increases, and then you get inflamed and you get bloated and retain water, and just this constant negative loop. So yeah, more is not always better with exercise. We want to find that sweet spot where your body is responding without being too overly taxed.
Yeah, exactly.
But I totally feel you on that. I used to also be a intense exerciser, and like taking a rest day was really, really challenging. Because it was psychologically like, oh my God, I'm going to gain weight. It's not good enough, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're like, oh, I'm going to go backwards. I haven't worked out for 24 hours. Your body's like, no.
Yeah. I mean, for me, one of the coolest things that I learned was that your muscles actually grow when you are resting. Like, you go to the gym, you break down your muscle tissue when you lift weights, and then when you rest, it rebuilds stronger. And when I learned that, I was like, oh, wow, like, this is why I need to take rest days. And like, I learned the damage I was doing by not taking rest days.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree.
So when it comes to clients, so what are some of the things that you love helping clients with, specifically female clients?
Yeah. I love, honestly, just empowering people. I know people say all the time, like, you want to help empower women, but really just letting women realize for themselves, like, they do have the power to eat a healthy diet, to whatever that means for them. They do have the power to work out, X amount of days, whatever their goal is. Like, they have the power to fit all of these things in their lifestyle that seemed unrealistic or just not feasible within, their life. Like, they absolutely have the power. You just kind of have to restructure your schedule. You have to restructure your mind. And I think once people realize, once they hit a couple small goals, they realize, I can do this. And that really builds up the confidence to believe, all right, if I can do the smaller goals, I can definitely do the bigger ones too. It's just a bunch of small goals put together. So I really like to just help women realize, like, you can do this. This isn't something that's in your mind of, oh, other people can do it, but I can't. They probably said that too. You can do this. We're all in the same boat. We just don't always talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. It's interesting you say that, because I often find that people have this notion that losing weight will automatically make them more confident. And oftentimes it's not the weight loss necessarily that makes them more confident. It's the act of achieving goals and the act of like setting these commitments, actually doing them, following through on them, and then seeing the goal transpire.
Yeah, I agree completely. I've seen a lot of things. You've probably seen them too. It's things saying like, you don't want abs, you want the feeling and the confidence that you think the abs are going to bring you. I don't know if you've seen anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's so true. It's like you want what you think is going to bring you the happiness and the confidence, but it's just, it's kind of like a mask. You'll have your dream body, but you're still the same person underneath it. So, unless you kind of address the mindset, that's you're still going to be unhappy with your, with your dream body. Then it's going to be the next thing that you want to desire.
I mean, for me, anecdotally, I was the most unhappy with my body when I was the leanest. Like, when I was competing in bikini competitions, bikini bodybuilding, I had the worst body image. I was the most unhappy. Mentally, I was just so down and hard on myself. And it wasn't, I didn't just get to this place where I had abs and everything was rainbows and butterflies.
Right.
Yeah, I had to do the inner work. And, I feel like now I'm able to balance it, find a healthy balance of like aesthetics and what I feel like I look good. I feel good about the way I look, while also feeling good mentally too.
Yeah, I think that's a balance that people tend to go towards the want to look a certain way instead of want to feel a certain way,
Totally. So I think both are important. So in terms of this, building on this, what's one thing that you wish your clients knew when trying to lose weight?
Patience.
Mm-hmm.
I know no one wants to hear it. Everyone wants like, what can I do? What's the quick fix? Like patience. There's absolutely nothing that's going to get you to where you want to be like at the drop of a dime. That's, it's not how it works. Biologically, physiologically, it is impossible to, achieve a certain amount of weight in, you see lose 10 pounds in 3 days, that kind of stuff. Uh, it takes time. And so along with the patience, it's learning to enjoy all the little things that you achieve in, you know, in your journey.
Yeah.
It doesn't like, if you want to lose 20 pounds, you're going to be happy when you lose your 20 pounds. But I think it's equally as important to realize, a couple days in, oh, I'm feeling better. I slept better because I've been eating better and working out. Or a week in, oh, my clothes fit better. Or a couple weeks in, someone commented that I look great. It's like all these different little things that are just as important, if not more important, than that end goal of losing the 20 pounds. So the patience to get there, and then just enjoying the ride. You have to find those little things along the way that kind of spark you to continue to keep going, to really enjoy it.
Especially for a big goal like that, right? 20 pounds is not an insignificant amount of weight, and it's going to take some time. So you have to enjoy it, right? If you hate your life during the entire process, even 6 months, right? Let's say you're doing this for 6 months. If you hate your entire life for those 6 months, chances are you're not going to get past week one.
Yeah.
So enjoy the process.
Exactly. I agree. I read something about, what makes you think you're going to love your body in a few months after you lost the weight when you don't love it on your way to that journey. You can't dislike your body month 1 through 5, and then all of a sudden month 6 you're like, oh, I love it now. You have to love and appreciate your body the whole way, and then if you reach that goal at the end, you're like, wow, that's amazing that I did this. You can't come in with the mindset of, oh, I hate my body, this isn't how I want to look, like this sucks, this workout sucks, I hate eating healthy like this. Oh, but I lost the 20 pounds. Your mind's not going to just flip a switch like that. You have to have that compassion.
Right? You're not doing this to punish yourself. You're doing this to feel better in your body.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think a lot of people come from a negative mindset of, I look bad, or I feel bad, or that's why I have to do this. If you restructure that a little bit to, I get to be able to do this for my body. I get to give myself this chance to, feel great and look how I want to feel. And, I have this power and this ability and this healthy body to get me to a healthier body. I think it's really empowering to just think about it like that, as opposed to, oh, I have to lose weight. You got to think about the positive aspects.
Yeah, I think it's also important to recognize that you don't have to love your body's appearance all the time. Like, it's okay if you want to change your appearance. It's okay if you want to lose weight and look different. We also don't have to spend our entire time hating it either. There's that middle ground where we can just be kind of, I call this body neutrality with clients, like just neutral.
Yeah.
Kind of acceptance of this is the current scenario. It is what it is. I'm going to appreciate what I can do with my body while working towards a different version of myself.
Yeah, I love that. Completely agree.
Cool. So along these same lines, what's one thing that most people get wrong when it comes to health and fitness?
That it is one-dimensional, in that you have to do it exactly how you saw someone else do it. Like, you have to follow how a celebrity did it. You saw them lose weight, or your friend in your family, they did this diet or they did that diet, and that's how you're going to lose the weight. I think people don't realize that health and fitness, it is so personal to the individual. There's no one thing that's going to work for everybody. So yes, you'll see someone goes on a diet and maybe it works for 10 people, maybe it works for 1,000 people. That's great, but that doesn't mean it's for you. I think the intricacies that go into just the physiology of your body is not something that's spoken about enough. When you see these fad diets on TV, you just see, oh, this celebrity did it, that means I can do it too. And then you try it and you don't lose the weight. Well, what you don't realize is, maybe you have, different levels in your body. You have different cholesterol. Maybe you have different amounts of hormones in your body. Maybe they're predisposed by their genetics to be able to lose weight a little bit easier. There's all these different internal aspects that we don't think about when we think, okay, I'm going to start to lose weight. What do people do? Google how to lose weight, or ask a friend, hey, you lost a lot of weight. How did you do it? You know, we're asking for advice from people who don't have our bodies, or not going to professionals who understand our bodies. It's not, fitness isn't one dimensional. Health isn't one dimensional. It's, you take the whole person into account, figure out all their information, and then you start playing with your trial and error. Then you start doing, all right, this is what I think is going to work best for the individual, and you tailor it from there. You know, you can't just slap on, here's a diet, good luck.
Yeah.
We're not templates. Like, our bodies we're custom.
Yeah. I saw this great little Instagram meme the other day, which was like, sick, go to a doctor. Is your car broken? Go to a mechanic. Do you need to get your lawn mowed? Ask the gardener. Want to lose weight? Ask YouTube, Netflix, Instagram, influencer, J-Lo, Beyonce, and like Kim Kardashian or something like that.
It's so true. Yeah. And I will say, I appreciate what people are doing to try to get health and fitness out there, in terms of having it be something important people need to pay attention to. But I think the reality of it is, it spreads a lot of misinformation, and people really get discouraged when they try something that someone says works for them and it doesn't work for the other person. They think, well, it didn't work for me. So I think it's good that, you know, we're getting health and fitness to be out there, but also I think, you know, people need to really understand and, you know, fact check certain things and realize, all right, this might not be for me just because it worked for, you know, my friend or my family member.
Yeah, totally. There's really no one size fits all approach to fitness. Cool. So let's move on with our questions. So next question is this is one that is very, very common. I'm sure a lot of people have the same struggle, especially now during COVID times. How do you motivate yourself to work out when you don't feel like it?
Oh, I do a couple different things, honestly, and I'm always looking for tips. So if anyone has any, drop them. I will do the bare minimum of what I think is going to be beneficial. So if I'm really not feeling it, I'm not going to force myself to do something if I am just, it's not happening. So I'll say 10 minutes, I'm going to do a 10-minute circuit. That's it. And if I do the 10 minutes, cool. If I do the 10 minutes and I want to do a little bit more, awesome. So I'll just try to get something in. But something that I do when I try to get, like, you know, a full, well-rounded workout in, but I'm really not feeling it, is I distract my mind. So I'll put on a podcast, or I'll put on like stand-up comedy or a Netflix show or something in the background that I'm able to kind of distract myself with mentally. So that way I'm going through the motions of my workout. I'm not going to be hitting any major goals. I'm not going to be breaking any records, but I'm going to be getting my workout in, and I'm going to kind of distract my mind from it. So I kind of have those little things in place to know that, like, no one's going to be motivated all the time. Like, motivation isn't always there, and that's fine. I think people get scared when they're like, I'm not going to be motivated. What am I going to do? Like, well, you're a human being, you know, you find different avenues of what works best for you. So those are a couple things that I would say I do when I'm just really not feeling it. But just moving your body, even if it's going for a walk around the block when you had planned to do a run, just move your body. You know, you got to do something small.
Yeah.
And then say, all right, maybe tomorrow will be different. And you just kind of take it one day at a time.
Yeah, totally. Just get that ball rolling. I think that's the biggest thing. Comedy is really fun to watch when working out. I think that's good, because then it creates like this positive, happy association with working out.
It does, exactly. And so just having something to look forward to of, oh, I got a new episode to watch, and or to listen to, of, you know, whatever it is. You're like, oh, cool, I can do that when I work out. And so it's not that dreaded feeling of like, oh, I have to work out. You're like, oh, sweet, I get to listen to so-and-so when I work out.
I have like a cardio show. Like, I have shows that I only watch when I do cardio. So I whenever I'm like anticipating, it's like exciting, gets me excited to work out, because I'm like, oh, I want to find out what's next.
Exactly. And then you end up doing typically a lot more than you think, because you're like, hey, I'm already here. Let's watch the next episode. I'll keep going.
This Saturday, I was just sitting down, like scrolling on my phone, literally doing nothing. And so I told myself, why don't you just do this while walking on the treadmill? Because I wanted to do like 30 minutes of treadmill walking. And so I got on the treadmill, I started going on my phone, was like on Instagram. Before I knew it, the 30 minutes were over, and I like didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I wasn't walking very fast. This was not a very workout, but it was some movement. Like, I was trying to get some steps in for the day, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You start small. You just got to start.
Yeah. Cool. So in terms of staying healthy, I would love to know what's your favorite healthy meal to make?
Healthy meal. So I would say a taco salad.
Ooh.
And yes, which I feel like when you hear that, you don't think like, oh, that's not like the healthiest thing in the world. But the key is obviously making it at home. Um, Making your own spice blend because the spice
Ooh.
mixes
Okay.
usually in the store have like sugar, preservatives, all these things that you don't realize. There's so much sodium in that kind of in those little like packets, taco seasoning packets. So it's super simple. You typically have all these spices anyway, if cumin, chili powder. I'm blanking on literally every single other spice, but it's only like
Salt,
5 spices.
pepper,
Yeah, salt, pepper,
garlic,
oregano,
oregano. Yeah.
powder, onion powder. Yeah, so like it's nothing crazy. They're all pretty basic spices, but it's so much fresher. So I'll do that with ground beef or shredded chicken. Ground beef is typically my favorite one to do it with. And then you just cut up whatever your lettuce, whatever your greens are, uh, tomatoes, salsa, corn, avocado. Um,
Delicious.
the only thing that isn't, you wouldn't go out of your way to say is healthy is sour cream and cheese. But when you have such like a voluminous salad, you really don't need all that much because you're already getting black beans as well. So I like to fill it with a lot of very like healthy, energy dense foods. And then, you can sprinkle a little bit of your cheese, crush up some tortilla chips, some sour cream, and you feel like you're eating something that's actually um, filling and not like, oh, when you eat something because it's healthy and you're like, this just tastes healthy, like this isn't what I want. It's really filling, and it's one of my go-to's for sure.
It's delicious. It sounds delicious and very simple and pretty similar to what you might get at a Chipotle or something anyway.
Yeah, super simple. It's something you can meal prep too. Just make a bunch of the meat ahead of time, chop up some of your veggies, and you're good to go.
So what's your favorite indulgent food?
All right, savory pizza, sweet Reese's, sometimes both. So
Like,
not at the same time.
okay. Well, like what kind of pizza? When you said savory pizza, I was like not like pineapple pizza, or what do you mean
Oh
savory?
no, I mean just in terms of like a food, like a savory food and then a sweet
Oh,
food. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, okay.
So
Okay, pizza and Reese's. Yum. Good
yes.
stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like that's very classic. Keeping it classic.
I would do just about anything for pizza, and Reese's have a special place in my heart.
Love it. Awesome. Let's do a quick rapid fire round of fun questions. So,
Okay.
first off, what's a fun fact most people don't know about you?
Who that I have traveled the world almost 10 times since I was 6.
Whoa. So, what do you mean travel the world? Like, where did you go?
So first trip I went on when I was 6, we went to Indonesia and Tokyo.
Okay.
Couple other places, Germany, Ireland, China. Um, oh
All
my
on the
gosh,
same trip or different trips?
all different trips.
Okay.
Yep. So those are a couple separate ones. Greece, all across Eastern Europe, Mexico. Um, yeah,
Have you
I'm
been
blanking on so many. I'm sorry?
have you been to India before?
I haven't, but my dad has been just under 50 times.
Wow.
So yeah, he so
That's a
he
lot of times.
he went for work. So he worked with a company that was based out of India, and so in high school, he would be gone like I would say every month for about 2 years. He would be gone every couple months, and then a couple years ago, he no longer worked with them anymore. But for a few years, he went like every single month for weeks at a time. So he's been so many times. A bunch of our Indian friends are like, Kevin, you're more Indian than I am.
So funny. It's so funny.
Yeah, I want to go.
Yeah, that's so cool that he's gone so often.
Yeah, he loves
So,
it.
okay, do you speak any other languages?
I wish I could say I did, but I still just got my baseline Spanish from high school.
Do you what do you like to do for fun?
So I love just being outside, whether that's just going for a walk around the neighborhood or riding my bike or, checking out trails and lakes in the area. But indoors, I would say cooking, trying new recipes, and then playing with makeup. I love
we need
makeup
to
so
talk about
much.
how good you are at makeup. Tell
Oh,
us
thank
more about
you. So we'll go way back. So I started wearing makeup when I was not allowed in like third or fourth grade. I would sneak eyeshadow onto the school bus and I would sit in the back and I cringe thinking about this. I would put purple eyeshadow from my lash line all the way up to my eyebrow, just the entire thing covered in purple eyeshadow. It was pretty atrocious. I'm not sure why my friends let me do it, but over the years I got a little bit better. So it makes me cringe.
That's awesome. So how did you learn? Did you just play around with yourself?
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know exactly. Like my mom, she wore makeup, but not a whole lot. So I think I really just, I don't know, it's something about it. I just really liked the creativity aspect of it. And I definitely watched YouTube videos on makeup. But it was just something that I thought it was so fun. I thought it was such a cool way that you could, express yourself just with your own personal style, and then, have it be a little bit more artistic. And that's where I kind of got into, how can you create different like images and things on your face with, different eyeshadows or different, different makeup products. Not something that I wouldn't go out to like the grocery store with like random flowers and stuff on my face, but I've gotten into some like the more elaborate makeup looks.
Yeah. You guys who are watching, if you go to Catherine's Instagram, you can check out some of her looks and they're really, really cool to see.
Oh, thank you. I need to do some new ones. It's been a minute.
No, you have to teach me. I mean, I'm pretty much just a powder and eyeliner kind of girl.
Yeah, I'd love to. I could talk about it all day. I have my whole makeup collection right here.
Oh, nice. I mean, my problem is that during COVID, it feels like there's no place to even wear makeup. So I haven't.
So once lockdown started in March, I actually didn't wear anything other than like mascara and eyeliner for probably like 2.5 months or so. And then I was like, all right, I want to start playing with makeup again. So I hardly wore any makeup because I felt the same way. I was like, well, I'm going to the grocery store. Like, what? I don't need to. I don't need to do anything.
Yeah. Cool. So a few more rapid fire questions. What's your biggest pet peeve?
When people chew with their mouth open.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I can picture it now.
I think somebody else said, I think Ankita said that too. One of our other
Did you really?
I'm pretty sure one of our other coaches said that as their pet peeve too.
Oh, I can't handle it.
It means you're meant to join the team. It's a sign. Same pitch.
It's a rite of passage.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So I actually found something I wrote when it was like an art project in like second grade or something, and it said I want to own a gym. So
cool.
I know, which I don't think I want to own a gym, and now especially seeing everything going on, I don't know the stability of that. But it was like being a gym owner of some sort, of owning a fitness entity company of some kind. So that was
favorite brand of workout clothes?
I would say Nike. I think Nike.
Okay. Favorite drink, either alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Ooh, okay. I would say just classic. I would go water with lemon, which I really don't do often. Like, I could probably just get lemons at the grocery store, but I never think about it. But I love at restaurants when they're like, "Would you like lemon with that?" I'm like, "Yes, please." Like, it's just so nice and refreshing. But alcoholic, I would say any kind of margarita. Ooh. Mango specifically.
Ooh,
mango marg.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Okay.
Okay, amazing. Anything else you want our audience or our clients to know about you?
I'm just super excited to be part of the team and get to be part of the community and get to know everybody.
Thank you. We're super pumped to have you. If you're watching this, Catherine is taking clients now. Her spots are open. She'll be doing private coaching as well as group coaching. Click the link below or click the link in my bio to apply, and we'll see you inside.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.